leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We are back live, well into hour number 4 on this Thursday, September 2nd, 2010 edition. Okay, Tyler is on hold. I'm going back to him, but let me just be clear about this. You're going to have corruption, whether it's government-run, corporate-run, any way you slice it, corruption is always a problem because some people will cut corners, they will cheat. Even really good people over time tend to become corrupted, especially if it's done through peer pressure. Or if someone isn't there to, try to educate them on morals. And so we don't have a free market. Up until about 1913, we did. And the banks would run scams and money manipulation operations and junk bonds. But people learned to not keep their money in banks, or they learned what banks were trustworthy over time, or they learned to have gold and silver. And we had, on average, 10% growth rates from the founding of the country until 1913. Now you don't even really have any growth if you look at it overall, the population. And taxes are very high. And so what you've got is big, powerful mega banks that got government to authorize them to create derivatives. But the SEC goes after little companies that try to run scams. See, just like the CIA and other big operations go after cartels that don't launder their money through them, that's all the drug war is, to keep prices up. It's the same thing. With this new Financial Reform Act, the big 6 banks, they get regulatory power over everybody else. And Bernanke's in the news today saying, we'll shut down any banks that could cause a problem. Well, what banks cause the problem? All the big Federal Reserve shareholders. But instead, they're going after little guys. And so Ron Paul has written on this and explained it. And I agree with his analysis. So you let banks and groups issue bonds that are speculative or dangerous. And if it comes out it was a complete fraud, you have the state grand juries indict their butts and put them in prison. And that problem's going to end very, very quickly. And questionable investments, well, people will know those are just dangerous. High risk, high return. And so this stuff's always gone on. But no, it's a marriage of big government with big corporations that has brought what we have. So we always hear, the free market's dead. Boy, we saw that capitalism failed in 2008. We can't have things like this happen anymore. We better just get rid of capitalism. Well, I mean, what is capitalism? It's big mega banks running things. What we need is freedom and local control and a small government. And then if people want to go invest in a big mega corporation that cheats them, that's their problem. Buyer beware. Or if Pinkerton security men want to pull in on the Rockefeller train to steal your gold claim, some property you've staked that's yours, you got a local sheriff that calls out the posse and line up in the street with the Pinkerton boys and you ready to go? Draw. But Pinkerton won't go to a town that's got a good sheriff. They'll go to a town where the railroad owns the sheriff. See, the railroad, the robber barons, the bankers, they need a corrupt government to give them legal cover. You didn't see Pinkerton and others coming into towns to rape and kill women, just like what's going on in Mexico right now. But this was 100% gringo operation. You didn't see that type of stuff without a corrupt police force allowing it. What goes on in Mexico? What goes on in corrupt Eastern Europe? Same animal, different region, same political system, though. Now, Tyler, does that answer your question?
Well, actually, no. I had a couple points I wanted to make to kind of counter that. I think whether you believe that this is a rigged economy or a free market, either way, in a true free market, the natural progression is to global monopoly. I mean, just think about it. I mean, if you have the best business in your city, then it turns into the best business in your county, state, country, hemisphere, global. I mean, it's the natural progression of the way that the system is set up. And the reason you say that there always is going to be corruption is because that's what's rewarded in this system, being fair and honest and ethical is not rewarded.
Well, don't worry.
I mean,
the bankers are going to use their system to destroy everything, and then they agree. They're not going to really allow a market anymore. It's all going to be a government credit carbon tax system, and you'll be given your collectivist job, and then you'll be deployed to it, and the globalists will sit above that. So don't worry. They're going to, I mean, if they have their way, you're going to get what you want.
I mean, I'm not saying that's not what I said that I want. I'm just saying I'm just trying to get you in that train.
Okay, well,
of
what do
thought
you recommend? Because since we took the issuance of currency and credit away from Congress, things have gone downhill. I mean, can't we just go back to what worked instead of inventing something new?
When did that ever work, really? I mean, you trust Congress more than, I mean, I see them on the same level of corruption as the Federal Reserve. I mean, you talk all day about the corrupt things that Congress does. And
here's the deal. Congress has been taken over, and that's our fault. We need to take it back. And when the Federal Reserve, the private holding company, when their little corporate front man, their spokesman, little Ben Bernanke, little helicopter Ben, who's going to save us, when he gets up there before the Congress with his jowls hanging down, they say, where did this trillion go? Where did this 500 billion go? And he says, I'm not going to tell you. See, that's lack of transparency. And so Ron Paul's trying to find out where the gold is at Fort Knox. God love him. And we're trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Then we can debate what type of money system we want. That's in the hands of the Congress, the people. And it's never going to be perfect. But believe me, the globalists want to get rid of the Congress and its authority because we've got a chance to elect good people to that and take our country back. That's why they're racing ahead with globalism with all these treaties, Tyler, to get rid of our checks and balances. Comprende?
I would say, I mean, I just have to disagree because I don't think Congress, it would be any better off with that.
Okay, what's your solution, Taylor?
My solution would be what the Zeitgeist movement offers in a resource-based economy.
You know, it's funny. It's funny, Ty. Now I'm getting into Caddyshack type jokes where I keep calling you different names: Billy, Bobby, Ben, Tyler. Let me tell you. Do you know how the socialists sold all their plans 100 years ago with images of spaceships and moon rockets and high-tech science and a computer that fairly divides up all the resources? I mean, do you know what type of living hell that would be? With the New York Times endorsing the Zeitgeist movement and the guy that heads it up, you know, with his fake name, Peter Joseph or whatever, walking around like he's about to levitate up off the ground. I was about to bring up the Zeitgeist movement. That's what this sounds like whenever you said that, Taylor. Ty, Tim.
I wish you would have him back on. He's about to make another film, but
he's going to save us?
I didn't say he is, but that's the whole thing. I mean, I think that it's a near empirical train of thought.
Have you seen the interviews where he goes, I was born to a mother in a town, like he was born in a manger?
I've watched pretty much all the work that he has.
You've seen that video where he goes, I was born into a woman in a standard home. That was before Z-Day, when our time came, when the leadership began, when the time of the... And then we follow this leader who the Rockefellers believe was the Christ, the ninth Buddha, Chamuki. I mean...
Come on, man, that's not...
You haven't seen in that video that guy that the Lucis Trush followed? What was his name, the Indian guy they thought was God? Babupi or whatever? Oh, my God. I mean, come on.
Come on.
This is pure fruitcake stuff. I appreciate your call. Oh, help me. Okay, look, I should have been nice to the Zeitgeist guy. I'm going to stop and I'm going to apologize right now. That was wrong. We're going to skip this break, by the way. That was wrong what I just did. I think they have a lot of good ideas, but a lot of bad ideas. I think his first film was pretty good. I think the second film, anything where a master computer runs everything, and I wear sackcloth, and I'm directed by hippies with submachine guns. I'm sorry. Of course, he admitted on my show that I will have to be sent to a re-education center. So maybe I shouldn't apologize. I'm actually pulling that file back up in my mind. I was born unto a mother from a standard home before Z-Day began. Alex, you will have to be re-educated because the plan is too perfect and you're ill. You don't see the master plan. Oh, it's so genius. What are we going to do today, Pinky? Same thing we do every day. Take over the world. Let's go ahead. We've talked to the acolyte of Z-Force. Let's talk to Jason in North Carolina. Jason, you're on the air.
Hi, how you doing? Good afternoon, Alex.
How you doing, my friend?
All right, I just want to express and acknowledge my appreciation to you for exposing the New World Order and our draconian actions of a totalitarian world government. And I just want to, give you my thanks. And I posted, I'm actually a PrisonPlanet.tv member.
Thank you.
I'm an Infowars.com member. Actually, and I'm